Your new album, Born Under Saturn, was released some weeks ago. How long did you work on the new album?
I think we started in about April, like spring 2013. We'd been kind of touring quite a lot from the last one. I think we toured for like 2 years. So it took, I think, just because it was like a debut album and it kind of started to grow and grow, we kind of had to kind of try to keep up with it. So yeah, we started in spring and we just recorded through to like autumn 2014.
It was kind of broken up a wee bit, I guess. We had like Hogmanay in Edinburgh, like the New Year big party, and we'd kind of done a few things before that, and then kind of felt like we started proper, after that. But yeah.
Okay. And what was important for you to make the new album different than the last one?
Not really. I think there was things that we liked about the first album in terms of its mix of electronics and more organic, kind of normal guitar and bass, and having that within a live set. It's really fun because you get these different parts of the set where it kind of all drops back and it gets really kind of slightly garagey, and then it kind of stops or morphs into something a little bit more like synth based. And then I think we liked all the kind of we were keen in terms of having those ebbs and flows, like high points and low points, or quieter points I should say. And I think we had any kind of preconceptions we had about what we were going to do all kind of went out the window as soon as songs started being written. And then so if Jim writes a folk song but we were going to do an electronic album, you've got to just kind of do Jim's folk song kind of thing.
Okay. Does the success of your last album affect the way you wrote Born Under Saturn?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the only thing we had going into the new record, the only thing that we had in the back of our heads was to look at structures of songs and the kind of songwriting side of stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess I've totally forgot what the question was. What was the question again?
Does the success of your last album affect the way you wrote Born Under Saturn?
No, I don't think so. We tried not to. I guess we tried not to worry about it. I guess once you're in a studio and you're away from all that, kind of journalists and fans and things like that, you're just kind of very focused on what you're doing. So I don't think we really thought about it. I guess for me anyway, personally, it wasn't until we were like a week away from putting the album out that I was like, right, shit, this is actually going to get listened to by people. I think that was the only time really that you kind of started to feel like, okay, there is expectation, for me anyway. But certainly during the process I don't think we felt that much pressure from the last album.
Mm-hmm. Which song or songs on Born Under Saturn best describes the sound and style you prefer, and why?
I think First Light is quite a good I mean, for that album, like, I suppose it was the first track that came together and we felt that we were really happy with it, and the rest of them were all kind of hanging out there, kind of waiting to be finished. And so when we got First Light, I think it was quite a good template for the kind of mix of sounds, it's got that driving synth and a slightly kind of tremolo-y, plucked guitar, and yeah, I think that was one it was just hands down, everybody agreed that's that's going to be the first single, and it's the first one that we felt really happy with.
Okay. Tell us something about your songwriting process. What comes first, the music or the lyrics?
Lyrics normally come last. Well, sometimes, I mean, it's quite varied in terms of, like, sometimes, I'll write a song at home, or me and Dave will kind of jam something out, or like we'll all jam something out, and then, or alternatively Jim and Tommy will, Jim will write a song. So it's all really varied in terms of, some of it comes out of jam, some of it comes out of somebody sitting down and actually writing a song, and then other stuff is like collaboration between everyone. And but yeah, the lyrics are normally, I think on this album we did a lot of the first album was quite like narrative based, like all the songs had like a story. Where this one, we it was almost like we were doing placeholder lyrics for a melody, and then when we came back, we thought we'll come back and write the proper lyrics later. These are just kind of like ones that are coming subconsciously out really fast, and then we felt some of them couldn't be bettered, so we just kind of left them the way they were.
Okay. Which sounds and effects do you prefer working with between analog and digital, and why?
Sounds and effects, or which one do we prefer?
I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
working with between analog and digital.
I think we've always been really like, you know, kind of determined to kind of use as much like analog stuff as we possibly can. I think it's just like, for us anyway, it was just a much warmer sound. You know, we went up to a place called Angelic Studios this time round. They had a lot of synths. And they had a few digital, you know, kind of like modern Moogs and stuff like that, and the sounds just aren't as warm. And you can get plugins and things like that, and you can try and recreate, you know, the sound of a Juno or, you know, an analog synth or a Moog or whatever, and it just doesn't sound the same. And I think like we're all like big vinyl collectors, and I think that it's a similar thing with vinyl. You know, you can tell the difference between a vinyl and an MP3 or whatever, and I guess it's kind of the same with analog and digital stuff, but I guess it's just more fun because you've actually got it there in front of you as well, and you can mess about with it, and you know, you can get lost in that whole thing, whereas with digital you're just like stuck with a mouse or something, or you know. So yeah, okay. Analog.
So which artists are you currently listening to, and is there maybe someone you like to work with?
I bought a new record by a British band called Polar Bear recently, who are like a kind of, I think they're based in London, but they're like a kind of jazz, kind of modern jazz band, but they're like, it's quite poppy, it's quite, you know, it's good, it's really good, and they just put a new record out, so I've been listening to that a lot recently. Just bought a new Hot Chip album. I mean, it'd be amazing to do something with Hot Chip, or yeah, I don't know. What about you? Who do you want to? Bruce Hack. Bruce Hack's still alive? Bruce Hack's
not still alive.
No. Oh.
Like the new Unknown Mortal Orchestra stuff, and the new Tame Impala stuff's quite interesting. I got that Jessica Pratt album, which is quite like weird folk thing. It's kind of good in some ways when you're playing a lot of gigs, you know, everything's really like loud, and that you've got this record that's just kind of quite quiet, just to kind of balance things out a wee bit. So yeah.
So you ever contacted one of these guys and asked?
We played with Hot Chip. We I think we partied with them a few times.
Yeah. We played with Unknown Mortal Orchestra last week.
But it was quite, I think they were quite hungover, and I think our tour buses were going in separate directions afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
They look pretty bedraggled.
We'll meet up with us in a few weeks' time. Thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
Okay. How involved are you in any or all of the recording, producing, mastering and marketing process of your music?
The recording, obviously, because we're in the band, I think we all have a hand, and you know, when we're doing the demos, we have a computer just sitting in the corner of the room, and we all, you know, if it's me and Jim, and we'll record stuff in. Sometimes the stuff that we put in, it's difficult to recreate if it's a certain bass or if it's, you know, certain instrument later, so we kind of go for, I think we all, almost the demos become in some ways the songs. We always kind of find it difficult to move out of the demo stage because some of the little weird things that happened in the demos were quite good. And then production wise, I think Dave is kind of takes lead there, our drummer.
It's kind of good to have like one person, you know, I guess me, like this, certainly with this album, me, Vinny and Tommy were doing a lot of writing, and then Dave would come down and kind of mess about with the songs and stuff. I guess it was good to have everyone funneling through one person. So like, but Dave's really, you know, he's produced the first record, and him and a guy called Neil Comer produced this record. But I guess we're we're pretty involved in the whole process. You know, it's kind of important to make a record that we're really involved in.
And then we get, for marketing, we dress Jim up in album billboards and get him to walk around.
The statue is actually me, just bronzed. That's just me getting out in the shower.
Do you have a lot of time for social media? Because I think it's very important these days for marketing and stay in contact with the fans.
I'm not great on it, like, but Dave, our drummer, our ginger thing. He kind of does a lot of that. And you're on Instagram.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be. I mean, I enjoy taking pictures. You know, shooting film, taking photographs. You know, when we're on tour and putting them up on. It's nice for people to be able to see. I remember when I was a kid growing up. You know, and you'd sit for hours looking at like a picture of a band or whatever. And you know, I think it's nice to have stuff that people can relate to you through or whatever. But Dave's Dave's always on Twitter, and he kind of commandeered Twitter basically.
I suppose the marketing side of things, like Jim's making the new video for like the song, you know, in collaboration with this other director, and you know, we kind of all, you know, we've all had a hand in videos down the line, so it's kind of, I think it's quite important that, you know, if you've got a vision for your music, sometimes if you've got a vision for the way videos and art sleeves and everything comes across, it's quite good if the two in it together.
Okay, last question. Can you tell us about any new projects or ideas you will be working on in the future?
I think at the moment we were talking about this last week. We just want to keep on writing. You know, I think we're going to try and get a bunch of songs written and demoed for the end of the year. Me personally, I know Dave's got like a 12-inch label that he's just started, so he's kind of busy with that. I've been doing one of my friends in Glasgow who plays in Franz Ferdinand. He's got a studio just near us, so I've been doing some stuff with him and his wife, which has been pretty good. So hopefully we'll do a bit more of that. But I think for the mainstay, we'll just be trying to write more songs and keep the momentum up of this, you know, this record. I guess try and keep writing.
And a lot of festivals are coming.
Yeah.
What are your highlights for the summer?
I think, well, this is the first one in Cologne of the festival season. I think Glastonbury's always high on the list. It's the best festival in the world for me. And then Field Day in London, which is always a big one. And then what else are we doing?
We're doing Melt in Germany, which will be good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've played it before, have we? I think maybe we played it a couple of years ago, but we were quite low down in the bill.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to go back there.
Yeah.
There's loads. We've just got like a festival every weekend.
Yeah.
But I think Glastonbury, we're going to be there for like 3 days. So I think
we're doing Lollapalooza.
Oh yeah.
In America, which is like, I went to when I was a kid, when I was about 15 or 16. So it'll be cool to go back and see what it's like.
Enjoy.
Great.
Cheers. Thank you
very much.